Next on Worcester News Tonight, all eyes on Washington as the nomination of the Supreme Court Justice takes another dramatic twist. Plus, enough support is collected to propose a business improvement district in part of Worcester to the City Council. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. More on those stories in a moment. We begin tonight with a former custodian of a central Massachusetts school facing a judge Friday. He's charged with making a terroristic threat. Our Chandler Walsh joins us now live with the details. Chandler?
Anna, Southborough police say David Pepper received negative feedback for not performing at the Fays School standards, leading him to make the threat. They say a coworker who heard his comments became distraught and notified the school.
David Pepper appears in court Friday. The former lead custodian of the Fays School in Southborough is charged with making a terroristic threat.
One of the things that he said, as also said, is that he was going to shoot up the school.
According to court documents, Pepper made the comments to a coworker on school grounds after receiving a poor review of his job. It was picture day at the private boarding school when the threat was allegedly made.
Photographs were planned to be taken out of doors, and the defendant said to the same fellow employee that it would be a good day for a sniper to be up a tree.
Prosecutors say the Webster man made a final comment about his knife while driving around the school in a golf cart.
He placed the utility knife in one of the front compartments and said to that fellow employee, "I better put this away so I don't use it."
The 51-year-old was fired and police removed him from the school after the incident last week. Pepper allegedly first denied making the comments, but then police say he admitted he was only joking.
Mr. Pepper absolutely denies that there were any threats made or intended.
Fays School officials say Pepper was hired in 2017. In a statement to parents, the school says he went through the same criminal and professional background review process that the school follows for all prospective employees. We had not received any other reports of threatening behavior prior to his termination.
Prosecutors say Pepper has little prior record. He faced misdemeanor charges decades ago and another in 2015. He's now being held without bail and will have a dangerousness hearing this coming Tuesday. Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
The State Department of Elementary and Secondary Education says serious violations have led to the invalidation of last year's MCAS score from a Worcester elementary school. In a letter released by the department Friday, this year-long investigation began after they found inconsistencies across the board at Chandler Elementary Community School. The state cites questions with items like students' average scaled scores, growth percentiles, and timing patterns in how students answered questions. The state also found the percentage of students meeting expectations and exceeding expectations was lower in every grade and every subject by an average of more than 20 points this year when compared to 2017. The Senate Judiciary Committee votes to send Judge Brett Kavanaugh nomination to the full Senate, but it comes with a condition. Republican Senator Jeff Flake supported sending the nomination to the Senate, but asked for an FBI investigation into the current alleged sexual misconduct reported by Dr. Christine Blasey Ford. It means the full vote will be delayed by a week. President Trump also ordered the FBI to conduct a supplemental investigation into the Supreme Court nominee. People all over are talking about the hearing, whether it's on social media, at workplaces, or in diners. And it's sparking plenty of debate locally. Our Rosalind Flaherty joins us now live with more. Rosalind?
Anna, the owner of a local diner, says it's what everyone was talking about this morning. Meanwhile, a local attorney says the hearing was bizarre. It was the talk over coffee this morning at Brody's Diner in Shrewsbury. Friends Ron Bertelli and Roland Carlson were among the millions of Americans watching the testimony of Dr. Christine Blasey Ford and Supreme Court nominee Judge Brett Kavanaugh.
She was such a true and dedicated and honest lady, and then you had this judge who's an experienced person in the law field, and he's jumping all over her.
He came out swinging. He was really mad, and he really presented himself well.
During Thursday's hearing, Dr. Ford recounted an alleged incident from the early 1980s. She says Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her at a party where drinking was involved. Kavanaugh denies the claim and says he wasn't at the party described by Ford.
I tried to yell for help. When I did, Brett put his hand over my mouth.
I wanted a hearing the day after the allegation came up. I wanted to be here that day.
This individual is putting herself through and talking about being terrorized is really significant.
The hearings bringing out different opinions. Bertelli and Carlson say they can see both sides.
Nobody wins, you know, but what happens is somebody's not telling the truth.
She probably did had trouble with sexual encounters, but I think she's got the name of people wrong.
Attorney Kevin Larson says the hearing was bizarre, saying it was unlike anything you would see in a criminal courtroom.
Basically, it was just a hearing. They sort of gummed it up by having a prosecutor ask questions, which was weird because the prosecutor only asked questions to the victim, when in a normal trial, the prosecutor wouldn't be cross-examining the victim.
He supports an FBI investigation and says the way it was handled was a disservice to the American people.
I don't think it really accomplished anything other than it was a complete sideshow for political reasons. It certainly wasn't anything like we would have in a real criminal trial, and for that reason, I don't think it was really fair to either person.
Now, Senate Republicans did agree to delay the final vote on Judge Kavanaugh to allow the FBI to investigate more. Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
More than 60% of business owners in Worcester's theater district have signed on to create a business improvement district. President and CEO of the Hanover Theater, Troy Siebels, says the signatures will allow a petition to be submitted asking the City Council to consider the idea. A business improvement district is where property owners vote to initiate, manage, and pay for services which go above the service the city already provides. It includes marketing, improving the downtown, and public safety enhancements. Siebel says the city has done a great job of taking care of downtown, but wants to take it a step further.
Create a district where it feels a little bit cleaner, a little bit friendlier, a little bit more going on with the plantings. It's all about making this a place where people want to come visit and feel comfortable being.
Siebel says the petition will be submitted to the city clerk's office sometime in November and hopes to be on the streets and implementing by March. Worcester's gearing up for the annual Walk and Rally for Recovery in recognition of National Recovery Month. The Department of Health and Human Services is hosting the event Saturday. Commissioner Dr. Maddie Castile says it's important to talk about how to change the opioid epidemic, but it's also important to talk about and celebrate the people who are in recovery and have made it through the process. There'll be family fun activities, speakers, and information on recovery resources.
People make it, and to actually talk about and see people who have done it, who are raising families, who are doing well, who are working, who are living a life like everyone else. People don't believe that that is true, and that's the piece that we have to send that recovery as possible.
The event will take place on Saturday on the Worcester City Hall Plaza from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. New technology at WPI will allow students to better understand wildfires. Researchers now have a 60-foot wind tunnel capable of recreating deadly and destructive fires in a more realistic manner. The hope is these experiments will create more information for fire departments and communities impacted by fire. Our Kim Jandro has more.
All right, ignition.
A bed of dry pine needles can quickly become fuel for a brush fire. A new wind tunnel at Worcester Polytechnic Institute simulates wildfires to better allow students to study them.
What we are trying is to develop the knowledge that will help us in the future to really have better tools for the firefighters, for the managers, for the people who are dealing with this problem on a day-to-day basis.
A fire is started in the tunnel. A fan then acts like the wind and shows researchers just how fast fire can spread in a wooded area.
Today it's a drier day, outside and inside, so that helped. The needles basically have less moisture and they spread a lot quicker.
Thursday's experiment saw a 20-foot-long section of needles burn in less than 5 minutes. The data is sent to a computer where PhD students like Giovanni Di Cristina can analyze it.
But if we're seeing similar trends throughout all those steps, then we can safely say we're collecting real physical phenomena and then feed that data back into the modeling efforts to predict wildfire spread.
Di Cristina says the tunnel is not limited to just wildfires. Experiments can also be done to help local fire departments.
It's kind of a blank slate, so we could even set up models in here of more urban fires, set up some building facades or some fences.
Leading professor Albert Simeoni was a firefighter in France for 10 years. He worked in an area which saw wildfires on a regular basis. It sparked his interest in studying fires.
And I remember seeing over 50 fires burning in the mountains and thinking we have to do something about this problem.
Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
Ensuring every child has what they need to thrive. It's the goal of the Worcester Early Childhood Alliance. Thursday, the group hosting a seminar at Holy Cross featuring guest speaker Dr. Jane Singer. The clinical psychologist says the first 3 years of a child's life are a unique time of brain development, and early education and care programs at such a young age are critical.
What we want to do is really start at the earliest stages possible to support that child's brain health, and that is best done by supporting relationships and relational care of children, because we know that those experiences in early childhood actually help to optimize their brain in ways that will last them the rest of their lives.
The Alliance is hoping to start a community-wide commitment to the well-being of young children. Well, tomorrow is National Coffee Day, so of course there are deals out there. Dunkin's offering a buy one, get one promo for hot coffee. McCafe bottled coffee drinks will be on sale at Dollar General and Target. And Barnes & Noble bookstores will offer a free cup of hot or iced coffee all day long. So I know where I'm going to be tomorrow.